Hello, hi, namaste, and this is the 10th episode. And as I introduce my next guest, I'm feeling a little emotional, a little overwhelmed with the entire support and entire encouragement that the last 9 episodes have got. Every listener has something unique to discuss, has something unique to share, and the lens in which they see the world, especially the world of transformation, is very different. I'm sure each one of you are picking up what works for you in case you are looking for transformation. Today, I have with me Shraddha Subramaniam. She's an award winning business and executive coach, India's first intuition expert, creator of Jackpot Method for businesses and founder, and CEO of Sparkling Soul. Wow, the first line itself is so very inspirational. Healing through cancer, she transitioned from being an employee to entrepreneur as a purpose evolved to impact this world by enabling organizations and businesses live their potential. Being a national level hurdle racer, she loves speed, makes her coaching very innovative and destructive. She believes everything you desire is available now. And with her intuitions, she can identify deep rooted subconscious blocks in just 3 minutes of time. Wow, while I would have loved to do that in this show, but this show is all about transformation. And we have Shraddha sharing with us what she thinks about transformation and how she has experienced transformation. Let's tune in to listen to her right now. Hi, Shraddha. How are you doing today?
Hi, Momita. I'm awesome and very happy to be here with you today, conversing about different things.
And this has been something that we have been talking about, and I'm glad that we are doing
Indeed,
it and we are doing this. So, first thing,
finally,
finally, and I'm so glad that we're doing it. So, first things first,
true.
Shraddha, we have been talking of transformation. So, what does this word mean to you?
Transformation for me is love, actually. So, it's like it's free flowing. It's always there. Now, how you embrace it, it's up to you. So, like love is available everywhere. We always say that, the whole purpose of human beings being there, even every being on the planet, basically, the originator of all of that is the emotion love. So I think transformation relates so much for me on that front. You just keep on embracing and embracing and embracing, and it just creates beautiful outcomes and results for you. And then you are accessing yourself every moment, every incident you pass through, every challenge of life you pass through, every new thing you learn, something you look up to, you are curious about something. So I think it's a mixture of all those experiences. But then, as I said, it is a connection of love and transformation. I feel it's so pure and it's so deep, which I always have felt inside of me. So that's how it is.
Wow, that's an amazingly interesting perspective to start with. Transformation and love, and the way you mentioned, you keep embracing it. I think the ripple
Yeah,
effect is what you get to see.
indeed. Yeah.
Awesome start, Shraddha. So, when was the first time you came across transformation?
I think I didn't come across it, but it got hold of me. I would say that. And when I look back, I have so many journeys that I have traversed so far, in last 40 years, I would say. It's been so subtle sometimes, which I didn't notice. It's been, so deep that I had to really get into it and come out, all of that. So, a lot of times I didn't realize, but it entered inside of me slowly, slowly, slowly. I think the awareness level as it kept on increasing. But I think from the age of 10, when I started my sports journey, professional sports, I think that's where I started to see the physical, the mental transformation that started to happen, because in sports, you are tough mentally, you are tough physically. When you are competing, you are a competitor, so you are tough in that. So even today, even if, so I am a national level hurdle racer, but even today, me and my husband, if we go to play badminton, sometimes we love playing. And we are playing against someone, as mixed doubles or someone, and he tells me that slow down and all of that. And I tell him that, you know what, if it is a match, don't expect me to do that. If we are just doing knocks, then I'm okay to do it. So I think, the kind of transformation it brought inside of me, that yes, you, when you are there, you keep moving. You are not like in between. You are on this side or on that side somewhere. So it started to happen, and transformation is exactly like that. You are on this side or that side. There's no middle path in between that you say that, okay, you know, I am in the process. There's no process. Either you are transformed or you are not. And it's not like you're fully transformed. Today, even I am not fully transformed. We are all on the journey of evolution. And then you go on taking that one step at a time, a path at a time, and then it evolves. So I think my journey of transformation began at the age of 10. Definitely, when I look back and see every dot connects in my life today. And then slowly, steadily, as the challenges came up, as my awareness level, keeps on bringing forth different, what you call, when you prepare a dish, the different kinds of spices, you kind of keep trying to make it and give it a different flavor. I think transformation is like that for me. It had been giving different flavors to my life, and it is now, free flowing. It keeps adding to it. So at the age of 10, it started, and I think it's still in progress. And that's where, I remember it happening.
Wonderful. And I guess sports is something that really brings it that change, the bigger change.
Indeed.
And
Yeah.
I think one side it's discipline, the other side it's commitment. And I can connect with you that once you are into a sport, that performance and that need, to perform is a part of you. Yeah. Very well.
A part of you. Yeah.
Very well articulated here, Shraddha, and very candidly you're showing that maybe some part of it you were not even aware. It started building as you became more and more aware.
Aware, yeah.
So, one is you entered into sports, and if I can take the liberty to ask you, how do you think you sustain that part of Shraddha, which got introduced during the, started running and, when you got into the sports, how did you or what did you do to sustain this bit the next 30 years that you have been talking about?
I think it gave me a lot. So the discipline, the commitment had already started. The positive mindset, always giving a helping hand to others, always seeing that even if you are competitors in life, there's still a human phase, because obviously when we practice, we prepare, we travel. So I've traveled a lot without my parents, even at a very young age, with the sports club and my coaches and stuff. So obviously, the collaboration had already started. So if I look back, as I said, the connecting the dots is very easy for me now, that this is how it is. Sustaining that, I think, because it has built you up in such a manner, like 7 years of my professional sports career, it built me up so much so that the awareness came in, the intuitive part, went on developing. Safe spaces, not safe spaces, it all came to me just like that, conversations, which conversations are enriching, which are not, what am I feeling. So I think there has been a different level of growth and progress. Sustaining that, I think I didn't have to do much about it. When the roadblock hit, whenever it came, like when I was 27, then I was stuck with cancer. So these kind of things, when they came, I think they gave me another level of my life. So I didn't have to sustain it. It was there. But when there was a need to take up a leap of faith, there were incidents which showed up for me to take that path. And it happened automatically. So the journey, went on. And I think now I'm at a phase where I can vouch for surrender in some spaces, slowly, steadily, it has started to sink in that yes, you are transforming, it is meant for you. And obviously, uh, you are not that aggressive to do it. It happens, and it happens when you surrender more, whatever way it has to. So when I say that, the leap of faith, the turn came to leap of faith, the incident showed up. So I'm not saying that the incident showed up and then I took the leap of faith. It's a different way to look at it now.
Mm.
That's how I think, it has continued, and I see it continuing. Like every day there are some bits and pieces which fall on my lap, which tell me, okay, now we are moving in this direction, do you still want to, or look at it. And so there's an awareness, I think, that has got built up. And with my intuitive energies, I grasp stuff a lot. Like I grasp the environment a lot, I grasp the people a lot, I understand their energies a lot. Like we are virtual at the moment, but still it is, I can grasp it. So I think that power actually got really channelized because of the awareness and the transformation that kept on happening.
Wonderful. Now I can connect to what you were saying, either you're transformed or you're not. So
Yeah,
now, so that transformed Shraddha, so that's and very nicely put across, the leap of faith. And most of us wonder, uh, it just happened to you. And I guess all of us are blessed, and so are you at this point, that it just happened and it was so much a part of
true,
you. You just followed
true.
it. And while a virtual platform, of course, that's a separate conversation there. Okay, what are the vibes that you're picking up from me at this point? But I mean, one question that keeps coming, Shraddha, and all of us understand that change is a constant, and that's something that's going to be a part of life. Uh,
Yeah,
we all know that, but when we are a part of it, we also know that it's not easy. It's definitely not easy for anyone, for the person going through that, and for the people around the person. So, what
yeah.
would be your maybe suggestion or piece of advice, that how do we manage ourselves during those moments?
I think the most important aspect over the years that I have learned is to just be, because most of the times people just want the change to happen so fast. Like literally, they don't want to go through the grind, the challenge,
Mm.
the thoughts which are literally poking you inside and literally making you feel miserable. All of that is happening in that space. And I totally connect with everyone I meet today because I have been through that grind. And I still be with those grinds sometimes because I know it's a space of evolution and that's going to be like that. But the moment you try to let go of control of that change to happen, but still take charge of yourself, there's a difference here. You let go of control that this has to be this way and it has to be sooner. So the control you let go, but you take charge of yourself and just be that, I understand, I empathize with you. I'm there for you. I get it that there is so much that's going on inside of you and inside in your life, and it's so difficult to deal with it, and I get you completely. Like when you actually speak to yourself, like you are just being, you just be, and you take charge, because then you are not running away. There's no avoidance, there is no, you know there's no, what you call it, as a band-aid you are putting it across, that okay, let me hide whatever I am, going through. So when you stop doing that, that's the most important thing. Because when I coach people today, I find that there is a lot of band-aids already. Number one. Number two, it they just want it to be super fast, and it can be done super fast. There's no doubt about it. It's possible because I do it for myself and others. But then what is important is not to go into the avoidance mode. That's very important. It shouldn't be like, okay, you're pissed off from your work front, you are looking at the vacation side, and you can't be on vacation all the time, right? But to come back to work. So it's avoidance, that there is a change required, but then you're seeing that, okay, I'll take a break and come back. It will just rejuvenate you for some period of time. Underlying issue you have not addressed. So obviously that is going to pop up once again unless you make that change happen. So allowing it to just be, and then if required, taking a professional help is the must, because when you are in sitting, in the mud, what you see around is the mud, but someone who can see you from the top and see that beautiful being, which is there in the mud, like a lotus that grows in the mud, right? It's such a beautiful thing, such a beautiful flower. So that's how, a coach picks you up from that space very easily, whereas you will not be able to identify the way out. So there is an aerial view I always talk about. There's an aerial view as a coach that's available for the change to process. So if you are able to process, amazing. You have built that strength over and over and over. And process doesn't mean you are avoiding. It has to be processed, as in process that you have learned the lesson, you're moving on, whatever way it is. And if that's happening, amazing. If not, do ask for help. That's very, very important.
Very well said, and especially if I have to relate to what we have been talking. First, of course, you spoke about being aware. Now you're talking about surrendering and letting go. In our fraternity, we say, let it be. Just be. But not everybody understands what does it mean to just be. Just be doesn't mean that I don't take any action, and that's where you bring in that don't lose charge. Take charge of yourself. I think very, very well aligned in terms of that you let go, but at the same time, don't say, oh, it's all destiny and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, of course not.
No. And the last, which most of us shy away, is professional help. Let me talk about it. Let me be vulnerable. I think these are the key points that I take away to sustain a change or hold myself when I'm going through this. Having said so, Shraddha, I don't know if this is a good time, but especially I hear this word surrendering, and that's where letting go. But if I have to put concrete words to it, what does one do? Because not everybody understands what is it to surrender. Not everybody understands.
I get it.
So if I have to sit down and say, okay, these are the 3 things I need to do, which will help me to surrender, what would be according to you?
I think from my experience, whenever there is a whirlpool going on inside of me, now I know that there is something better coming out of it with all the experiences. So I think number one, to see the outcome already is one important aspect. Asking yourself that question, I'm going through this whirlpool. Now, what is it that I want to see on the other side? That's such an important aspect, Momita, because what happens is when we are in the mess, we only can think about the mess. But to break that pattern, the moment we think about what is it that I would want it to be, it will break that pattern of the thinking mess, living mess. From that, you actually move on to maybe thinking beautiful, living beautiful. That's one of the aspects. It's a very simple one, but you can think about it.
Yes.
Or you can also think about what has worked in your life. Maybe, the simplest of it, generally, we all say that it's the space of gratitude. So whatever has worked. So we always say, look in the future. But then when future is dark, I say, look in the past. And look for light in the past. What light you received in the past. Because that there is a journey that you have traversed. And then look at it. How did you walk from those dark spaces into the light every time there was a challenge? And if you could pass through it, then why not you will be able to pass through this one as well? Maybe you may not be able to, and fine, life finished, whatever way it is. But generally, it doesn't happen. It's only the emotional breakdowns that we go through. And every emotional breakdown literally creates a different, beautiful you. So if nothing is happening, cry it out, sigh it out, you know, talk to yourself louder. If you want to shout it out, go ahead, do that. Literally, like literally, that is the space of surrender, because you are asking questions to yourself, not sitting silently within yourself, but then there's some action that's happening in those moments. And I think that's the only thing. I think, surrender doesn't mean that you're just sitting and sulking and you're just saying that, as you said, it's destiny and then I will accept it because it's my destiny. No, it's not the way it is. It is just to experience what was it meant to be. Are you able to pivot? There's a pivoting space that we can go into, that if this has happened, what it is there to create for me, versus if this has happened, what it is there to take away from me. So there could be two ways to look at it. So when you do the pivoting exercise, or when you actually feel grateful, or when you look at the outcome of the whirlpool, or you just take some action, you cry it out, because there is such an emotional release. People shy away from crying, and I say, okay, that's the best way to be. If things are not getting handled, just allow yourself to shed it out in whatever manner possible. And that's the first step, because you can't put clean water in a bottle having one drop of dirty water. It's not going to happen, right? So unless you empty yourself, you'll not be able to create that channel for you to see the light passing through you. And that's the space of surrender. So surrender doesn't mean just sit and sulk. It means you take actions, but you're taking actions for you to feel better first. And then from that space, you build that faith that, okay, this journey is meant to be like this, possibly. There is something better for me there. And now there is something better. So I can see some light, some rope sent up from the universe, and then you're possibly holding it up to move up from the space you are. So I think this is how you go about surrendering. It is not the first step, but this is how you build it up to surrender slowly.
Thank you, Shraddha, because I think that's something that I have always looked at in life, that whenever there have been moments which, like, the question comes, why me? The question is, yes, it's me. So let me take it ahead and, maybe light. And I love the way you said future and past, look for that light, it could be in gratitude. And I personally also believe that we are architects of our own life. We have the power
Indeed.
within us. And transformation is one such key ingredient that makes us, helps us design our own life. So although you said transformation for you is love, but what is your belief? I mean, of course, you have gone through amazing amount of changes in your own life, and the way you have fought back at every step. I think that's, you call yourself a sparkling soul, you yourself a sparkling soul. But what is it that you think, where your belief about transformation for our listeners today?
So my belief about transformation is it's an integral part of my life. And I can't run away from it. And I don't want to run away from it. Yeah. So I think whenever there is a need for me to step up to the next level, there will be phases in my life where those will come up. And whatever transformation is meant to be from that space, it would happen. Only thing for me would be to be open for allowing that to happen. The more I sulk, the more I, go deep, saying that why, all those questions, the more resistance, the more block I'm creating. And maybe there will be more tough experiences. Those will come to teach me that lesson, or, to transform me to at that level. So if it is happening with ease, then why should I not allow it? So let it be and let it happen. And as and when it is happening, it's actually peeling up another layer of me. It is actually taking me to my core, to my deep rooted spaces where I belong to. So it's a beautiful journey, I think. For me, transformation is like being open and allowing it to just happen. And that's the belief I have about transformation. It's an integral part. It's like if you have got a life, you have got transformation in place for sure.
Yeah, very, very powerful. Life and transformation, I think they go hand in hand, right?
Hand in hand, like
Eh,
walking like friends and buddies
yeah,
together.
evolving every moment, right?
Yes,
So talking about
yes.
moments, Shraddha, if we take a moment here and maybe a pause, and uh, I'm feeling very tempted to ask you, is there anything about you in your life that you would like to transform? Looking back, anything there?
I think there are so many things, Momita. It's not like I have come to a journey, so there are nothing much left. Obviously, there is so much left in me which needs to be transformed and which needs to take the journey ahead. I have a very big vision of creating so many things. Like recently, in the name of my parents, uh, I founded a wellness center because they also both had been cancer patients, and so this is for the cancer patients because um, the treatment only happens on the body, but then the disease starts with thoughts and emotions. So to target the thoughts and emotional part of it, that's the SJT Wellness Center in my parents' name that I went on and created. It's a virtual space at the moment, but the vision is to create it physically in every city of India so that, this has to happen. So that's one. There are multiple things because I belong to sports. There is a Breakthrough Sports Academy because this is all my vision already written down, and I'm sharing here for the first time with you that there is a Breakthrough Sports Academy that I am aiming to create because the energy, the mindset, the intuitions work so much in the games, and we have so many talented athletes available. But then there is a breaking point each one of them has, and I want to enhance that. I've been coaching a future um, lawn tennis star. He would be, I'm sure, coming in the main league very soon. I've been coaching him, and I could see that shift in him completely with the way now he practices, now he approaches his games, and the kind of outcomes he's generating in his practice matches and the tournament that he's playing at the moment. So that, given that I belong to sports and sports runs in my veins, there's something called as Breakthrough Sports Academy that I want to create. That's another one. In my daughter's name, I want to create a music therapy center. She loves music, and this vision came to me in 2019 when she was just 3 years old, and then I didn't knew that she would be so much into music. But she's so much into music now. After 4 years, I realized she's 7 now. So I think that there is something which has come to me already, and I am on the quest to whatever I can. Like, I'm not putting again me in control of that okay, I would want to finish it and do it in whatever way it is. But at least the quest is on. And I know for that, all this vision to happen, there is a lot of transformation still required inside. And I'm on that journey, and I'm just enjoying that. I would say it's going to be there like till the last breath of my life, this one, and maybe the next one, and maybe the next one, whatever way it is. So, but I'm open for that completely. So yes, there is a lot.
Listening to you, Shraddha, just makes me feel that this world is full of possibilities. And be a wellness
Indeed.
center, be the sports, the breakthrough, or your daughters, I think more power to you. All these are going to
Thank
go very,
you.
very successful because you said vibes. I am getting those vibes sitting here, and right from you, that it's mutual,
I'm
that
so
there's a
happy.
sparkle. It just shows there's so much of conviction in it. So,
Yes.
Shraddha, while I would love to hear you more and more on this and ask you more questions, but perhaps one little question is that what would you want to advise our listeners, since you have been into the coaching space yourself and you have come
Mm,
across multiple people? So, people who are yet to transform, people who are in the process of transformation, people who are
yeah.
wondering what is transformation, what would you tell
Transformation. Yeah.
them? What would you tell them?
I think the one thing I would tell them is don't shy away from asking for help, because that's the most important thing. Transformation happens, and it is going to happen because you're in a journey of life. The way you look at yourself today, you may not be the same person, because you might be looking at your older self who had those challenges and who failed at something. But today, as you have moved on, you have moved on as a person. And every day for everyone is transforming. Like even our bodies are transforming. Every 7 days, we lose all our cells and we get new ones. But the whole aspect is the language inside of the cells the same? And that's where the diseases gets created, or that's where the transformations keep happening. It's both the ways. It's that much of possibility open for each one of us. So if there are possibilities, there is transformation. And if there is transformation, if there are possibilities, there is transformation. And if there is transformation, there is life. And if you're shying away from transformation, you're shying away from life. If you have to live full, transformation is a must. Whether you take the journey by yourself, or whether you sit and get grinded in the phases of life, the choice is yours. But then whatever it is, make a choice that is empowering to you, and that makes yours and the life of people around you better, because we are human beings, we are connected to each other. As one person transforms, the other gets the energy around it. And I think that's the most important thing to be. So ask for help, and just don't shy away. Just go for it. Make that choice purposefully for your empowerment. That's what I would want to say.
Wonderful. You started saying transformation is all about like love, and it's a whirlpool and ripple effect just by listening to you, and very, very critical. Being in the moment, asking for help. I think that's something that we mostly tend to shy away, and that's very critical. I mean, if we are there with it,
True.
the transformation journey has started. So lovely talking
Already.
to you. Yes, lovely talking to you, Shraddha, and thank you so much for sharing your personal stories. Uh, Personally, I believe that this podcast, the intention is to listen, learn, and lead transformation in our own life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here. I totally enjoyed this conversation, and wishing the listeners all the very best in their journey of transformation, because that's what we are all meant to be.
Thank you.